Welcome back to the Allied Focus channel. I'm Matthew Pierce, and today I'll be discussing American Battery Technologies Company, ticker symbol ABML. I'll give a quick overview of what this company will do. We'll look at the stock price, talk about some things that are positive catalyst, and I'll give my opinion on this company / stock. I am not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. It's very important. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is Ryan Melsert, the CEO of American Battery Technology Company. He's got experience with Tesla. He was the R&D manager for Tesla's Gigafactory Battery Materials Processing Group. So a little bit about their company, and we'll just go to their website. Our approach to sustainability. Here is how their process works. So they have their battery disassembly, contents removed using automated 3-hour process of ingesting materials and removing contents as quickly as possible to minimize chances of pollution. And then they go on to the next step of extraction of materials using a process backed by trade secrets. Chemicals used are kept in a closed system, clean, filtered, and reused. Then they have their purification process. Individual metals are separated and purified into battery-grade components. And then lastly, battery-grade materials provided manufacturers. High-grade metals, including lithium, cobalt, nickel, aluminum, copper, and graphite, are provided to OEMs and manufacturers. So just a little bit about where they're at right now. They're currently not making any revenue. So right now they're building their facility. They are keeping people up to date on their facility. So here on Twitter, they posted something just 4 days ago. This week on site, steel deck roofing is being installed over the space frames, and preparations have begun for the Phase 2 process building foundation slab. The market around the recycling of lithium-ion batteries is huge and growing, mostly thanks to electric vehicles. Surely a lot of the other lithium-ion batteries get recycled, including the phones and power tools, but the majority comes from EVs. In 2019, it was estimated that the recycling market was worth $1.5 billion. By 2025, the market for recycling is expected to grow to $12.2 billion. After that, it should remain at an estimated 8% annual growth. The lifetimes of EV batteries are long, much longer than lead acid, 2 to 4 years for lab versus an estimated 10 years for lib. The batteries coming back for recycling versus the amount being produced will not be at equilibrium for a long time. It won't be until the EV market plateaus and 8 to 10 years have gone by to allow the old batteries to come back. So that should give you guys a pretty good idea that there's a delay here. So if you think about how many vehicles were sold or how many electric vehicles were sold in 2012, it wasn't really that much. So, but 10 years later, which you're not going to need that much demand for recycling these batteries because there wasn't that many vehicles out there. But 10 years from today, we will, because, if you look at the EVs sold in 2021 was 6.5 million EVs in 2021, and that number is just expected to keep growing. So I think a lot of these companies are saying, hey, it's probably a good idea if we go ahead and start building now. It looks like it's really early, and it is, but they have massive potential growth ahead of them. So if you look around, you can see that there are other companies that are building facilities right now, but you don't necessarily need to be the #1 player in a field in order to get revenue out of this. As other companies jump on board, they'll take some of that market share, but it's still such a high growth area. If you look at the, EVs sold and whatnot, that I believe a lot of these companies that come out are going to do quite all right, especially if they have good leadership like this company does. They also have things like this that are going to be helping them out. Biden to invoke Defense Production Act for electric vehicle battery materials. Not only do we want to keep up with China, there's this aspect of competition that really drives innovation. So let's look at the share price of this. Today it's trading at $1.60 per share. The market cap is $1 billion, which is pretty good for a company that hasn't really started producing any revenue yet. But don't look at that like it's overvalued, because if you look at the potential of how much money they can make in the future, that can be justified rather quickly. Now, this stock is not listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. It's an OTC stock. As of now, I think eventually they'll probably want to get on the NASDAQ so they have access to that capital. As you can see here in February, if you trade small cap stocks, you will know that in February 2021, these stocks were like really hot. But then as inflation ticked up, you can see the share price going down. Lately, this stock has seen an additional uptick because of the Biden administration's Defensive Production Act. Market has a lot of competition, and I think in the next few years you're going to see other players jumping into this market and taking market share. Having said that, I don't think they need they don't need to be the top player in the field to really get money for you. You know, if they're at $1 billion valuation and in 10 years they're at a $12 billion valuation, well, you 12x your money. Maybe they're not the top player in the field. Maybe they are. Who knows? But I would say it's a pretty good choice. They do have the CEO going for him. He has experience with Tesla, so that should help. So if I was to invest in this company, I would probably invest under probably $1.75 a share. That's where it's currently at. I'm not saying that you should. I'm telling you this is a risky one because they haven't really started producing revenues yet. They got other things going for them as far as potential goes, but you'd have to have a high risk tolerance for this one because, you know, eventually maybe they hit the NASDAQ, and then, you know, that'll bring in new investors, but it'll also bring some additional dilution. So I would just keep those things in mind before investing. Also do some additional research. I haven't covered everything in this video. There's a lot to cover in this company. I would look through the management, you know, and look through some of their financial reports that they've put out and just kind of get a feel for who they are before you make any kind of investment into this company. But to me, I think a good price would be under probably $1.75 a share. I believe when the market conditions clear up a little bit, we'll probably see this thing go a little over $2 a share, and then maybe even higher depending on you know, when they get that facility built. So yeah, that's all for me. Thanks for stopping in. Links to additional resources will be provided in the description, as I did not cover everything this company will be. Follow me on Twitter at Allied Focus. Click like and subscribe if you want more content like this in the future. The Discord link is also in the description. So thank you all for stopping by. Y'all have a great day. Peace.